Hi, I'm Saddam and I'm one of the co-founders of Builderkit. So in this video today, I'll show you how to use this image generator app and take you through the step-by-step process for setting this up and testing it out end to end. So first let's go to the documentation of Builderkit, and under this AI apps, let's go to image generator. Make sure that you have already access to the starter or pro plan of the GitHub Builderkit GitHub repository. Since I already have the pro plan access, so I'll just copy this one and open this terminal to download this project. I want to create my project in my desktop directory, so I'll go to desktop and download it here. I'll name it image generator and hit enter. So it will take few seconds to download this project from GitHub repository to my local system. Okay, so now that the project has been downloaded in my desktop folder, I can close this terminal and open my project in the cursor. So let's open the folder and go to desktop and select image generator. Here you can see the default directory, default branch is the main branch. So to use the image generator app, I need to switch my branch to image generation. So run this command and you can see here the branch has changed. After that, we need to install the required package, required dependencies for this project. So for that, we will run npm install. You can also use npm node package manager, but since I'm using pnpm, so I'll prefer to go with that. But it is completely up to your choice or requirement, whatever you want to use. After the package has been installed, I will just create a env file that will contain all the environment variables, the keys, security keys, and other sensitive data that should not be public. So yeah, I'll run this command and it will create a .env.local file. So here the project URL will keep it as http localhost, since we are testing this in localhost right now, and our default project is 3000. So yeah, that is 3000, localhost 3000. And then we need to create add few more environment variables. So let's get these keys from replicate and superbase and add it here. Now that we have completed our environment variable setup, let's go with the next configuration steps. So we need to create a table in Superbase to store these generations in our database, Superbase database, that is the Postgres database. So I'll copy this SQL script and paste it in the SQL editor in the Superbase. So just and hit run. It will just create the table, and if you go to table editor, you can see a new table has been added called image generation. We also need to have a users table. So you can run this script that is available. This script that is available in the documentation here in the Superbase setup page. But since we already have that users table, we don't need to create it again and again. After all, we have to sync our Superbase table schema or the SQL schema to our project. For that, we will follow the steps mentioned here. So since we have already done these configurations of Superbase in our project in the previous tutorials, so we don't need to do the login and Superbase initializations again and again. So we can directly run this command that will sync the table from Superbase to our local project. So let's put it here, and we need to update the project ID. So we can get it from here. If you in the URL, you can see after project there is this code which is the project ID. You can also take your project ID from project settings, but let's do it like this for now. Yeah, so hit enter and it will sync the table schema. So yeah, it is done. So if you go to src and types Superbase, so you will be able to find that image generation table has been added. This is basically a types file which includes this type of the Superbase types, table types, table schema of the project. After this is done, we can run this project as an npm run dev. Since I'm using pnpm, so I'll use pnpm run dev, and you can see our app is running on localhost 3000. So we can check. We can go to localhost 3000 and we'll be able to see that our project is live in localhost 3000 URL. So here it is. But before using this, we have to do one more thing, that is we have to set up a public URL. these image generations are done through replicate, and the responses from the replicate are handled through webhook. So we need to create a public URL in which that webhook responses will be received. So for that, we have to open the terminal again, and using ngrok, using this command ngrok 3000, ngrok http 3000, we can create a public URL that will redirect all the responses coming to this URL to our localhost 3000. So I'll copy this one, and yeah, either you can test your app in this and in this public URL itself, which is basically a clone of localhost URL, but you can otherwise you can test your project in the localhost itself, but update it in the replicate file. So here in the origin, comment it out and add const origin and this URL. So this is just for testing. We don't need to push it to the production. We just want to handle our webhook responses in this localhost redirected from this public URL. That is why we are doing this. So if we now click on this get started, it will take us to the dashboard of image generation app, and here we can do our select the settings and start generating the images. So let's do it. Generate a cute pup in the single generation, no negative prompt, and let's hit generate image. So it has just the generation has been created using replicate, and it will wait for some time until the generation is done, and then it will show us the responses. Yeah, so as you can see, a cute puppy has been generated, and it's so real. I really love that response. Okay, so yeah, so the generation has been created using replicate, and the puppy image has been shown here. You can also go to my generated images for all the images that you have created here. So yeah, that is it for this video tutorial for image generation. Yeah, that's it. Bye bye. See you until the next video.